Good morning, welcome back to the Junius Maltby channel. I should have done a video yesterday, but I was tied up, so I was not able to do one. So we're going to play some catch up today and look back upon yesterday, but also extrapolate what we saw and use it to discuss some things today and topics of conversation as usual. What a crazy year. I mean, we've made a couple of videos already on 2016. It just keeps impressing me with its craziness. Stock market crash 2016. This is the worst start to a year for stocks ever. Officially. Worst ever. Worst first week opener ever. And of course they're trying to blame this whole thing with China revaluing their currencies, circuit breakers, Chinese economy. And I think that's a distraction, smoke and mirrors. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz, don't mind the guy behind the curtain. I think there's a lot of other stuff going on that is probably having an impact on the U.S. stock market and the world economy. We've covered these topics for the last few years, and they always seem to resurrect themselves somehow. But I don't think a lot of this has to do with the Fed raising the rates the way they did. I think the economy is just inherently sick. It's ill, and it's spiking a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell. No, just kidding. Hopefully somebody got that reference out there. I'm sure somebody did. But the Dow closed down nearly 400 points yesterday. I believe the final was 392. Dow Jones Industrial Average plunges 392 points on Chinese meltdown. And, of course, the day before they were talking about it being the H-bomb. That's kind of piddled out of the news, if you notice. They don't really talk about North Korea a whole lot anymore. They're always looking for somebody to blame. But, the Dow was down 2.32% in one day. The S&P was down 2.37%. The NASDAQ was down 3%. NASDAQ took a beating. And as many of you know, energy sector is getting hit real hard. Oil prices are very low. And typically, because oil and gold seem to be somewhat coupled together sometimes, it's been consistently impressing me that oil has been going down and gold has been rebuffing it and kind of holding its own territory. And even though gold has gone down a little bit, we've seen that, it has not done near the precipitous decline that oil has done. And so gold's maintaining some strength there. Oil hasn't been this cheap relative to gold since 1988. Oil futures are in line for a weekly loss of more than 10%. So all of you guys out there that argue oil, I've seen that a lot, read it a lot, been hearing it for years now, how great oil is. And that's good. I mean, it's a commodity. I like commodities. I like oil. I burn it, in my car. But for all those out there that think oil is the greatest thing in the world, pay attention to what it's doing right now. Every day, every place, every vehicle that we can potentially park our wealth in has a degree of risk. Everything has its day. Everything goes up some days and some goes down some days. Some things are safer than others. Stock markets get beat up pretty good, and oil's getting beat up pretty good. Gold did get beat up earlier, the last 2 or 3 years, but I wouldn't say horribly bad. I mean, I think gold, like I said, held its own, and it's kind of making a comeback in this inning, in this round of the boxing match. And we can be really mean. And I think this is a time for us gold hawks to kind of take the high road in our politeness. And instead of being an I told you so crowd, welcome people into the fold. We don't want to alienate people. And I hate to look at it that way, like we're political parties or something, but it seems like we are marginalized and isolated as gold hawks a lot of the time. You've seen them. We've talked about it on this very channel. The derogatory remarks that people have for us, calling us gold bugs, the headlines that seem to really just club into us how horrible gold is, what a bad investment it is, how stupid people are to buy it, how it's a worthless, barbaric, and archaic, and all the words they like to use, relic. So at this point in time, with gold doing well and their cherished paper, just fluttering about in the wind. I think it's time we welcome people and take the high road and try not to be too harsh. But as we've seen here, 30 days. 30 days, look at that. Nice little chart there. Gold ratcheting upward, hitting some new highs, bouncing off that low we saw. This is a very interesting chart that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. Because if you took the name gold off of this particular chart, most people would look at it and see what color as the majority of color on that chart. Yeah, they'd see green. There's a whole lot of green on that chart. And if gold wasn't up there, if the name was, let's say, Hewlett-Packard, or even if it was just the Dow or the NASDAQ or whatever it was, replace it with whatever stock you want. I don't care. Canon, Samsung, Apple. Anyone that would look at that chart with a particular name up above it would say, wow, that's a really good asset. That's a really good investment vehicle. Who is that? What is that? Who manages that? I would like to put my money in that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is gold. That's gold going back to 2001. And really, in the time span that gold's been legal to own in the Estados Unidos, in the United States, that only represents about, what? So it's been around for 40 years. 40 years, yeah. It's a little over 30% of the total time span that we can own gold legally since 1974, when it was, again, okay to own bullion. Now, I mean, look at the numbers that we're talking about here in just the U.S. dollars. So go to the left column there, that's U.S. dollars. Then you can see Australian, there's Canadian, and the euro, the British pound. There's all kinds of stuff, all different currencies up there, but it's doing well in all of them, mind you. But I happen to be living in the Estados Unidos. So I look at 2001, 2% up, and you got 24.7, 21.1, 5.4, but you got a lot of 20s, a lot of 20% years in there. And then, of course, 2013, you've got a pretty significant down year. But I would say that's offset from just above it. 2010, 27.1, we'll call it a wash. 2014 down 1.5, 2015 down 10.4, and we're back up this year so far 4.5 with an average yield yearly of 10.3% in growth in value. That's phenomenal. That's a good thing. I mean, most mutual funds aim for 8%. So next time someone's giving you a hard time about gold or trying to tell you that gold's a bad investment, gold does better than most mutual funds. And I could paint a very good, colorful picture for you from personal experience on certain performing mutual funds, but I will not. It's not the purpose of this channel to do that. But let me just tell you that gold has done better for me in preservation of wealth than almost anything else. This chart paints a picture for me of why I love gold. It's a very green metal when it comes to looking at this chart. Yes, gold is yellow. It's golden in color. But on this chart, it's green. And that's what you want to see. In a world awash with red, with asset classes breaking down in commodities here and there, oil in the red, all of these stocks dropping off, it's a safe place to put your money. If you are in panic right now, if you're spooked by the markets, by what's going on, if you're set to retire soon, and I'm talking like 5 years out, 10 years out, if you're watching this video and you're a pensioner or whatever, and you've got a huge amount of money somewhere, I know one of the rules, I think with Roths, with IRAs, you can pull out your principal and leave the interest in there and then pull off that in the future tax-free. But you can pull your principal out, what you've put into it, and do something with it. This is a good time to buy in and lock in on some gold. Let me tell you that. At $1,100 an ounce, or just under 11, this might be one of the final opportunities to buy gold. Of course, people have said that for the last several years. Could it go down? Yeah, there's a chance something else could happen. Something unforeseen could change. But with the way the markets are shaping up for 2016, and my personal opinion of the global economy, I think you should seriously consider gold if you have not done so already. If you're one of the people watching this who's just your Junius Maltby subscriber, and you see things eye to eye with me, and you're just agreeing with me here, and you watch this channel for whatever reasons, for assurance, or just because you like to sit in the corner of YouTube on what we like to joke about as being the most boring channel on YouTube, I welcome you here. But this might be a video to show your friend or family member that is stuck or at a point where they're a little bit nervous. You know, we've all been there. I was there once in 2007 or 8 when I did have some money, when I still believed in the whole casino realm, and I had some money in mutual funds and stocks and bonds and so on. And I remember laying in bed one night looking up at the ceiling, a little bit nervous. It was probably 11 o'clock at night, thinking, you know what? I need to pull the plug. I need to yank that stuff out of there. And it hadn't even collapsed yet, really. It was just the very beginnings. It was from based on stuff I was reading just prior. It was like 2007 in the fall. And I'll tell you right now, watching your money go away in a stock market can be one of those nauseating, helpless feelings you will ever experience. I know people have had it. I've read the accounts of others. I know some of you on this very channel have experienced that type of theft, that type of loss, where you are powerless and your money is vanishing like a vapor of gas escaping a compressed container, just disappearing into the wind. You have no idea where it went. Take this time as an opportunity. Pause today, reevaluate your situation, look at the future, look at your life plan, take a look at gold. Because we're going to look at some other headlines here. George Soros. Everyone's got opinions about George Soros. Some people think he's a scumbag. I personally don't like the guy. I think he looks like an alien. I'm not saying he is an alien. I'm not one of those people that believes in those conspiracy theories. I just think he's a weird dude. But he's successful and he's extremely wealthy. And I don't see eye to eye with him on a lot of more political and philosophical things. But he is successful in the markets. He makes a lot of money. He does what he does. And his life is wealth in the economy. He's predicting that it's 2008 crisis all over again. There is a video you can watch where he's talking about this. So billionaire financier George Soros is warning of an impending financial market crisis as investors around the world are roiled by turmoil in the China trade for the second time this week. There's a link to the video. Don't click on the screen because it won't do anything. It's just a screenshot. You're going to have to go find this on your own, perhaps. Okay, so there he is. There's George Soros for you. Half of his face, anyways. A disturbing warning from UBS. Buy gold because a 30% bear market is coming. That is another dire prediction. Don't panic, buy physical gold instead. These are just little clippings and headlines putting up. And it's amazing how some of these have actually come from mainstream financial media outlets. And it's incredible how the wind shifts, is it not? 3 weeks ago, gold was the dumbest thing in the world. Today, the winds shifted a little bit, and now you go to these financial networks and they're like, oh yeah, gold. I was saying last week or 2 weeks ago that, it was a good time to allocate some into at least 10% of your portfolio into gold because it's a good idea. And dude, shut up. You did not say that 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you were on this very network saying that gold is a stupid idea, and you are glad that you never put money into it, and you advise all of your clients not to because it's such a horrible idea, and look what it's performing like the last 3 years. Fast forward to today, and suddenly the guy's a genius because he pulled up some little clip of an article somewhere where he thinks he might have said people should get some gold. But it's just amazing to me how these people, they like the wind, to and fro they blow. Kitco Gold Survey. So this is interesting. They did a survey on gold's starting 2016 strong, but what people expect, what analysts expect to continue into the future. And you're going to be surprised, because I was when I saw this. Look at that. Wall Street, 50% of those surveyed are bullish on gold. Now, I don't know if they think it's going to finish $1 ahead next year or $500 ahead from where it's at, but that's a pretty good sign. 50% of Wall Street is bullish on gold. 22% are bearish. Those are the same 22% that are always bearish. Those people were bearish on gold in 2007, 2008, 2005. They're just those people that have never bought gold and never will because they have a cerebral disassociation. Their brain's disconnected. Disassociation. I don't know the exact terminology, but they're just handicapped. They can't buy gold. They're like vampires with silver. They can't be around it. 22% of them are neutral. Those are the people in the middle that just don't care. They don't know what to believe. And then Main Street, the you and the me's and the businesses, bullish, 66%. bullish. And then again, the same 25% that hate gold and always have and always will. And then the 9% that just, they don't know what they're doing. They're just watching football, I guess. But continuing onward, so look at that. Big group of people thinking gold's bullish for the year. And I think that's a positive thing for gold. I think that's one of the things I think is going to be a factor in the performance of gold going into this year. Not only are a lot of different sectors or groups of people, nations, all around the world. You saw the video that we just did recently on the world wants gold. I mean, the whole world values gold and wants gold, regardless of what the small minority groups that hate gold think or believe. In spite of their philosophy, which is anti-gold in nature, gold will continue to thrive and perform. It's going to. You can't do away with 70 centuries of human genetics and behavior and values just because you think you can. That's not the way things work. Again, I'll reiterate what I said in a video just recently. I think 2016 is shaping up, gearing up to be a strong year for gold. Now, yes, gold does seem to like January. It does perform well in these winter months at times. Could it dip sometime in the mid-spring or May? Yeah, could. Is it going to finish 2016 more than it started? I think so. That's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I don't know. I'm a nobody. I base things on what I read, what I hear, what I see, observations. I take in information, calculate it, make a decision based on it. You don't have to buy gold because you're part of this channel. I'm not going to dislike anyone if they choose not to buy gold. I don't base my friendships on whether or not a person likes or dislikes gold. I've got close friends and family members who hate gold. No joke. Think I'm an idiot. I don't even talk about it with them anymore. We hang out. I mean, imagine you're at a dinner and you're there and one of your family members is Junius Maltby himself, and they hate gold. So we don't talk about it. We just don't cover that. We talk about other things. One of these days, I think I'll be vindicated. I'd like to hope so anyway. You know, I would love to live in a world where gold, you know, even though it's going to be ugly for a lot of other parts of the world, but I think it would be nice to have that $5,000 or $10,000 gold one day, and then just be able to have that conversation with some certain people. Yeah, I think we all, any one of you on this channel knows somebody like who I'm probably picturing and talking about. But yeah, it's going to be a good day, guys. Just keep your chins up, stay strong, make good choices this year. It's 2016. It's crazy out there. Batten down the hatches, get your skiff out, put your life preserver on. If you're in England, send Gordon Brown seaworthy, put him in a longboat till he sobers, kick him off, and let him find his way somewhere else. I know a lot of you guys liked that reference the other day, and so I used it again. Thought it would maybe generate some higher view counts in England. So, top of the morning to all of you. Have a good day. Thanks for being part of the Junius Maltby channel. Hope you're as pumped up as I am. I don't know what it is, but when there's a bear market, I seem to get a little bit chipper. Not that I'm relishing in anyone else's pain, or that I'm misanthropic in any way. I just seem to like to see people have to focus a little bit more on what's really valuable in this world. So, have a great day. Take care of yourselves. And thanks for being part of the Junius Maltby channel.